Hello and welcome to the watch along. Yes, it is the Saturday kickoff. It is Exeter Chiefs who host Wasps. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome along. Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Let me know who's in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from this afternoon. Make sure to like the stream as well and subscribe if you are new. Hope everyone is doing well on this afternoon. Good to see some of you in the chat already and watching already. So really excited to watch this one. Really excited to watch this one. So do let me know where you're watching from today. Oh, YouTube's in the chat. Love the top, Brandon. Yes, I don't have a Exeter Chiefs top. I don't have an England top either. And I don't have a Wasps top. So I thought I'd just wear the Scottish top that I was lying about before. Hope everyone is doing well, though. Let me know where you're watching from and who you're supporting this afternoon, who you're backing to win as well. Let me know in the chat. As always, don't forget there's an option of a super chat if you want to do that. But again, there's absolutely no pressure on you to do that, but it's there. If you'd like to make use of it and support the channel financially, you can do that by purchasing a super chat, which will come up highlighted, or purchasing a sticker as well. So you can always do that if you so desire to do that. But good to see some of you. Good to see some of you already. Right, there's not long before kickoff. We do have a guest who's going to jump on in a second. He's just sorting a couple of bits out. So let me show you a little bit about the two teams. So first of all, the last time these two teams played was actually pretty recent, actually. Start of January, and Wasps won this one. They managed to win this one pretty comfortably, actually, in the end by about 20 points. A big result. Wasps were struggling at the time, but a really good result for Wasps that day. But how things have changed. If we look at the table, Exeter sits second on 49 points there. You can see them there. While Wasps sit down in ninth for this one. So it's not been the greatest season for Wasps, but for Exeter, they're slowly rebuilding and slowly beginning to come back and play some better things. Right, let's have a look at the teams. It's how the two teams line up this afternoon. Really interested to see how this one goes. Starting at fullback, then we have Stuart Hogg at fullback with Facundo Cordero, the Argentinian, on the wing, and also Tom Flattery is on the wing. Of course, he got a couple of really nice tries last week against Leinster. Henry Slade starts at centre alongside Ollie Devoto, and Joe Simmons and Jack Maunder starts at 10 and 9. In the front row, then Alec Hepburn, Luke Cowan-Dickey and Harry Williams play together, while Sam Skinner, Johnny Hill and Dave Ewers play in those three positions there, and Jacques Vermeulen and Sam Simmons play at 7 and 8. For Wasps, then Rob Miller plays at fullback with Paulo Dogu on the wing. Malachi Fekatiora plays in the centre alongside Michael Lebourgeois. Josh Bassett plays at 11. Jacob Umaga is at 10, while Dan Robson is at 9. In the front row, then Tom West, Tommy Taylor and Kieran Brooks play there. Joe Launchbury at captain in the lock alongside Will Rowlands, while Ben Morris, Thomas Young and Brad Shields play in the back row. So let's have a time for our predictions. Let me know who you're backing to win this one. Let's see, who are you backing to win this one? Thank you very much to everyone who has liked the stream. That's massively appreciated and certainly helps. Both teams are out. Freddie Clark believes Exeter's going to win this one by 15. I tend to agree. I think Exeter are going to win this one pretty comfortably. But I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. Wasps have really been struggling recently. Exeter seems to have picked up form. They'll want to bounce back. They'll want to bounce back after a poor campaign. And yeah, they'll want to bounce back for sure in this one. Exeter, because Hogg and Gray have helped with Cherry and he's taught them the way of rugby. Dave Cherry fan club for sure. We're trying to get our guests on. A couple of technical difficulties for him. And we'll try and get him on. Both teams are out. Of course, are going to have a 2-minute silence to pay their respects to the Duke of Edinburgh, who sadly passed away last week. So we'll be paying our respects to him, of course. 99 years old, heck of an age. And a lot of the fixtures have been changed today to different times to really fit in with the funeral, which is taking place, I believe, at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So having a 2 minute silence. Once again, we had a really nice watch along yesterday. Northampton Saints beating London Irish last night. And a lot of you in the chat then, myself and Ben, went through that one. A bit more of a chilled out one on a Friday night, but we're going to focus on the game a lot more today and enjoy this one together. Just a reminder, this is the last watch along of the weekend. I'm taking a few days off, going to see some family. It's important to rest and to recoup. I've been really going for it with YouTube recently and been doing really well. Thank you to you guys for that. But it's important to take a break, take a rest, see loved ones, and then I'm going to come back. I've got so many ideas and working on so many things for the Rainbow Cup for next weekend. Really excited to bring that to you. Right, we're pretty much ready to go here then. Tom Foley is the referee for this one. So excited to see how this one goes. And we've kicked off here. So Exeter against Wasps just kicked off. Let me put the scoreboard up. This game, of course, is live on Channel 5 if you're here in the UK. So you can watch this one live and for free. So it's not just on BT Sport. It is available on Channel 5 as well. So we just kicked off here, 0-0. Let me know your predictions in the chat. Eager to hear your thoughts on this one. Who's going to win this one? Who's going to come out as champions in this game? Do let me know in the comments down below. In the chat, sorry, because we are live, of course. So Exeter in their white. Sorry, Wasps in the grey, Exeter in all the black. And it's Wasps with the ball on the 10-metre line here on their own half. It's a massive challenge for this Wasp side, isn't it? It's a massive challenge for them, and Exeter will really want to bounce back. Again, Wasps haven't played since they lost in dramatic style against Clermont a couple of weeks ago. So they'll really want to bounce back today and put in a good performance. The Wasps are up to the 22 of Exeter here from a high kick. And they are trying to go through, but it has been stolen by Exeter, but there was an advantage being placed, so they'll come back for the original penalty. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Lucius says, I've got my first match next week. Absolutely buzzing. I'm sure you are, mate. Enjoy it. I'm meeting up with my coach for kicking practice at 2 as well. Well, this game should be done by, oh gosh. Yeah, probably about 2 o'clock, to be honest. It'll be done by around about 2 o'clock. So it's an early stream today, a bit different, but this is the game we've decided to do today. And then, as I said, taking a break then until end of next week. Lovely ball out here to Odogu. Odogu? I've never been sure I'd say his name. This is promising from Wasps. Good intensity from them from the off here. Has that been turned over by Exeter? No, so it remains Wasps ball in the 22. Coming forward here, Umaga. Tackled. Robson gets it out. Launchbury takes it in. Positive start here from Wasps. Launchbury tackled once again by Cordero. 8 phases in here. Umaga. Lovely flowing pass. Dohu pushes 1, 2, 3 players off. Not really making all that much ground here, Wasps. Good hands, though. Oh, it's been turned over, but illegally so. So penalty to Wasps here. 10 phases there, 4 minutes in. Interesting to see what their decision will be here. Will they take the points, or are they going to go to the corner? I think it's Rowlands there who's won the penalty. Oh, they're going to the corner. Interesting to see that Wasps have decided to go to the corner there. Really interesting choice. So Wasps go to the corner. They do win the line out. Rowlands wins it. Of course, Rowlands is going to the Dragons at the end of the season. Returning to Wales, he'll have his eye on the Wales squad for the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Driving maul here from Wasps. Moving forward slowly, just over the 5-metre line. Robson gets it out. It's a really poor pass from the England international. And now Exeter are running away. Potentially, this could be an all-the-pitch try. Is he going to get there? And it's a try for Exeter, and the centre, Devoto, has ran the length of the pitch. He's ran the length of the pitch. Absolute madness. He's ran the length of the pitch. Crazy. And Exeter, after all the work there from Wasps, have an early lead here. Exeter leading this one by 5 points to 0. And you've got to say, after all that pressure there, just simply not good enough. From Wasp, the pass from Robson, you've got to say, was horrendous. Slade picks it up, lovely offload. Devoto runs, and then the support offered by Cordero. And the way that he puts his body across the fullback is very, very clever position, just to ensure that Devoto has enough space to run it in. And he crashes over for the first try of the game. So Exeter leading this one. I'm not sure if they're going to check this. Are they going to check this? Are they going to check that Cordero hasn't been an obstruction? They might be actually checking Cordero here. We're having a look here. We're waiting to see. Try says, I think the try is going to count. I think he's happy with it. Tom Foley's going to award the try. So, yeah, try to Exeter here. Try stand. So, 5-0 to Exeter. And Devoto gets his try for Exeter. And after all the dominance from Wasps, you've got to say, really, really impressive there from Exeter. The carry from Slade, the offload, and then Devoto running the full length of the pitch will give Simmons an opportunity to add the 2 points. So Sam Simmons will look to put this one over. Very, very sunny Exeter down in the south of England. Certainly somewhere I'd like to go after COVID has gone. And is the wind going to bless him? It's not. So it remains 5 points to 0. Exeter leading this one by 5 points to 0. Our guest is in the building. Let me welcome him in. It is Kyle from Kapustaki. Kyle, how you doing, man? Good to see you in the chat.
Hi, how you doing, Brandon? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, a little bit on the quiet side, mate. Not going to lie. But otherwise, all good. A little bit better, yeah.
So, bloody technology. I've had to update this, that, and just God, Apple, F Apple, Apple. You are going
to. I've always been a Windows man myself, but have you seen the first try so far?
Yes, looked like Exeter Wasps were having a bit of pressure, and they've had most of the territory, and then Exeter just went up the other end and scored, didn't they? So
a really good finish. There were question marks of an obstruction from Cordera, but the try was given there. So obviously we spoke about it just before you came on. Exeter obviously looking to bounce back after defeats against Leinster, and Wasps haven't played for a couple of weeks, having lost against Clermont in dramatic style. Wasps down near the bottom of the table, while Exeter are second in the league. So for you, this should probably be quite an easy Exeter win, shouldn't it?
On paper, yes, with how both teams are going, but also interesting to see how Exeter respond to how they were well beaten by Leinster last week. It was a cracking game, but Leinster were just the much better team on the day. So it would be just how they respond to that. But on paper, like I said, you have the Exeter favourites.
Yeah, definitely. Wasps have just got a penalty. Umaga has added 3 points, so it's 5 points to 3 down at Sandy Park in this one. Just a reminder, once again, this is live on Channel 5 here in the UK. So if you want to watch it, it's free to watch. You're able to do that. So make sure to put it on, turn off the crap commentary on the TV and listen to us babble on and see what we have to say.
It's like listening to Wayne Barnes' co-commentary. What do you think about that, in the way a referee on the commentary team?
It's good because it gives you different insights, doesn't it? It gives you different insights to the game. But I think Wayne Barnes is good at explaining things, but is he a good commentator? Can he paint the picture of the game, or is he just explaining the game? You know, and I think, again, the balance of that is really difficult. But no, I'm not against it. I mean, Nigel Owens has done a bit here on the Welsh language side. He's done a little bit here. I've not got anything against it. We are aware that we've had some technical difficulties. It's just one of them things, guys, that we're trying to sort. I can't do all that much about it, so apologies about that. But as long as you can hear us both loud and clear, then that is all good. Of course, a couple of Scotsmen today in for Exeter. Looking forward to seeing them play.
Is that better now? My mic?
Yeah, that's much better. That's perfect.
Perfect. My mic setting was on the other thing. Sorry.
That's better. It's all good.
Okay. Sorry. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
A couple of Scottish guys to watch out for today for Exeter. You've obviously got Stuart Hogg playing, and
Sam Skinner.
I've still thought for some reason we'd see Mr. Gray there, but we don't. But thoughts on them two playing today. Hogg had a very quiet game last week against Leinster, didn't he?
Yeah. How much of that was his fault? I wouldn't. From what I saw of the game, I wouldn't say it entirely was. But also good to see Sam Skinner starting. Johnny Gray on the bench. And obviously there's a few probably last minute lyings contenders in both teams, to be honest, or last minute places trying to put up for the place in the squads. But I'm hoping Hoggy has a better time of it today, actually.
Yeah, and get some ball in hand as well. He didn't get all that much ball last week. That's what Leinster were just so good at. They're so good at just holding on to the ball, going through the phases, very disciplined, very organised. Hogg nearly actually got in the corner there, but a really good tackle from Paulo Ado. Is it Adogwu, or is it Adohu, or Adogwu, or what is it? Do you know his name? Do you know how to say it?
I think it's one of the first two.
Adohu. Let's go with Adohu. That's what I've heard the most being said, but we'll have to wait and see what it is. But yeah. Interestingly, I saw your video this morning about the changes to the Rainbow Cup. Of course, a few law changes happening in that. The first one, let's have a quick chat about it then. There's an orange card. Thoughts on that?
What my idea for an orange card, or
no? Well, in the obviously 20 minutes off, if it's not deemed as a bad red as such. What do you make of that, the 20 minutes off thing? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's just the way they've kind of devalued the red card. They've kind of just taken it and said 20 minutes and basically said that player just goes off, but the team can bring a replacement on, which I think, is not going to, I don't know, in a way it could make, not taking things as seriously, possibly, as Exeter just scored a high try here.
Yeah, Hill scored there.
We'll have
a second.
Yeah, I said that in the video really just because, but I mean, as I said, I'm open to the idea of an orange card. Like, if it's something that's maybe like a clear out of a rock or a charge down where someone's made contact with the head and in slow motion always makes it look worse than it is. I can see the idea for an orange card in those sort of situations. But if it's like, still stuff like obviously eye gouging, headbutting, spear tackles, punching, etc., like stuff like that should be like red card, team reduced by a man or players if there's one player involved for the rest of the game. And that should be the way it sticks to.
Yeah, I agree. Exeter there with a really good finish. Luke Cowan-Dickey just absolutely pushed Umaga out of the way and Johnny Hill got in the corner. There was an interesting comment before from Benjamin who said there was an obstruction before the Exeter tryouts for the first one. Did you catch that? What did you think about Cordero there? Lucky boy, or do you think he's just playing very well and tactically doing the right thing?
A bit cute, to say the least. I'll have to watch it properly again, but no, from what I see, it looked a bit cute. One could argue unlucky.
I would say very, very borderline, that one. Simmons has missed his second conversion here, so 10 points to 3. Not sure if it's windy down at Sandy Park down there, but but Luke Cowan-Dickey, we're just watching him there, just absolutely bouncing Umaga off there, and the ball goes out wide, and Johnny Hill gets in the corner. Good hands from Harry Williams actually there into not Corey Hill,
Johnny Hill,
and crashing over Corey Hill, of course, playing for the Blues and playing for Wales. So there we go. And then obviously the other decision in the Rainbow Cup, captain's referral. They're doing that out in MLR as well. A lot of these are things already happening out in Major League Rugby. So what are your thoughts on captain's referral? You're a fan of that? Or is it going to become a bit of a whinge fest, do you think?
That's my fears that could become more of a whinge fest. And, especially when it's saying like the 5-minute thing. I mean, I think it needs to be made clearer that captains shouldn't be trying to speak to referees as plays going on. I mean, I've had that on several occasions during matches and happens no doubt at higher level as well. Players calling for this, that, and the other are just constantly shouting at the referee if players going on, and that's something I want to see stamped out, and I don't think this law is going to help that. But no, the challenge idea I don't think is necessarily bad if there's a bit of foul play miss, but again, potentially opening a whinge fest, every little thing. It's like, oh, but he made contact with my eyes, ref, or but he wouldn't get out the way there, ref, and he put his head in there and made contact with me there, ref. And it's just, I mean, it's not like that. You think, come on, you're adults, be,
Yeah, exactly. Exeter attacking here onto the 5-metre line. I personally thought it was a knock on in the build-up, but this could be. Oh, here we go.
Should be Exeter penalty.
And it's a big penalty. I actually thought in the Exeter moments there, as they were going for, there was actually a knock on in the build-up there. Luke Kyle is a ref, yes. He is a ref indeed. But I actually thought there was a knock on in the build-up for Exeter. A lovely steal. Is it Will Rowlands again? It is. Will Rowlands there. Trying to dance away. Cordero's had a great start to the game, putting a brilliant tackle there. Potentially obstructing someone along the way, but no, sorry, it's Thomas Young. Sorry, Thomas Young it was. Again, another Welshman. I mean, a lot of Welshmen playing out on the. We've seen Nick Tompkins go back to Savis. I'd be very surprised to see him in a Wales shirt again, to be honest.
Really?
I'd be really surprised to see him back in the Wales setup. I think the likes of Owen Watkin have played very, very well this season. Nick Tompkins at the Dragons has been okay, maybe 6 out of 10. Been overshadowed a lot by Jamie Roberts, who's had another brilliant campaign for the Dragons. So, yeah, I can't really see him playing for Wales again.
Well, you never know. With obviously, Jonathan Davis is getting old, not getting any younger. So, I mean, I'd say there's still chances there, but he didn't really do himself any favors in the games he played in the Six Nations. Tompkins, I thought he was poor by his standards.
Yeah, exactly. A question for you here, Kyle. What age groups do you ref and what region?
Well, I used to referee up in the northeast of Scotland, where I used to stay. Refereed the Cali leagues up there, and I refereed the schools down there. But now I'm more based in the west of Scotland. And again, before the pandemic, a little over a year ago now, I used to referee like the west of Scotland region leagues around that area. Occasionally referee the schools from down to under 13s and up. So,
yeah. So, do you, as a referee, without challenging the whole challenging thing, as a ref, how do you feel if you were refereeing a game? Because it's one challenge, isn't it? So, would you be happy with that, or would you be a bit like, I'm not too sure on that as a ref?
Well, thankfully, at the level I did, I'm hoping to go back into later in the year. That's not something I need to worry about at all. It's because obviously no TMOs and no, other stuff with that. But at that level, you think, you make it clear to the captains, it's like one challenge, and if you get it wrong, then that's it for the rest of the game. And just make your authority clear on that, I think, because yeah,
definitely. Otherwise, players will try and take the mick. But I do think that's the good thing about rugby, that there is traditionally more of a respect between the players and the ref, isn't there? Within rugby, usually there's a bit more respect than you see in football. Penalty out the scrum. Oh no, sorry, reset of the scrum. But it'll be interesting to see with this Rainbow Cup how it goes, and really fascinated to see how teams approach it. Whether it will be let's just throw the youth out, give them a chance, or teams are actually seriously going to go for it. And I think for the South African teams, it's more important than it is for the rest of the competition. From a Scotland point of view, I asked Ben this about Wales, but from a Scotland point of view, how do you feel about the Scottish internationals playing in that, knowing that the Lions tour is in the summer? Would you be worried about them sustaining injuries and things like that? Or would you be like, do you want to have a go play against South African side, see what the style is like ahead of the Lions?
Well, I think you'd be the same with Welsh players, with and the same with Irish, English. Well, Irish obviously with the Rugby Nations Cup. I think just the same. Like obviously you don't want folk to get injured, but it's another competition. Maybe similar to the Autumn Cup last year. I mean, I expect teams to sort of throw some, as you say, throw some youth in, like experiment a bit. So yeah, I mean, injuries happen. They're part of sport. You don't want them to happen, but I mean, I don't think you can go into any competition worrying about that. That's just what I think.
Yeah, but you don't want a Hamish Watson to get injured, do you? Or anything like that, because he has to start 7 for the Lions. So that's just how I see it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of folk with still different opinions on that, but
too small apparently, not strong enough.
Oh, Stephen Jones. Don't get me started on Stephen Jones. He's an effing useless journalist. He's been useless for decades, and it's like how he's still considered some sort of like rugby guru in his journalism. He knows nothing about the game. Nothing.
He is Mr. Negative within the game, I find.
No, he knows nothing. It's not just negative. He's nothing. Yeah. He knows absolutely nothing. I mean, he apparently stays out in New Zealand, and the stuff he says about them, even after they won the 2015 World Cup, and like, what? I mean, I just listened to it and think, what the heck are you talking about?
Exactly. And hopefully we bring a little bit of intellectualism and a little bit of understanding of the game. Maybe a little bit. Hopefully not too biased, says the two men wearing a Scotland top today.
Wasps here.
It was a lovely step from Umaga. Wasps were saying that it was knocked on. It was knocked on by Cordero. Is that a deliberate knock on then?
I don't know. I need to check that again. I think that's what they're going to do.
Really nice step from him.
Yes, good.
But from him, it's just.
Did that go? I wouldn't say that's a deliberate knock on.
I don't think it's a deliberate, but the problem is he in?
No, I don't think that.
The problem is, it's about whether he's actually going to catch it. That's what they look at, isn't it? And for me, he's not going to catch that. But is it a deliberate knock on where?
No, because he hasn't gone with the intention to. Because if he was running the other way and he put his hand out, just the intention to stop it, but.
Yeah. So it's going to be a scrum 2 Wasps, just
even
about 7 meters out. So big chance here.
Even Wayne Barnes is saying it's hard to say if it was a deliberate knock on just because of the angle he's running. So and I'm in agreement with him there.
Absolutely.
Anyway, pardon my semi-rant on that useless excuse of a journalist. So,
no problem at all there. Scrum to Wasps here. As they come forward, Dan Robson hands into Umaga. Good line for...
Oh, that's not forward, yeah.
It was not forward from Umaga. Umaga is a good player, I think, but very raw. Very raw. Has a lot of mistakes in the game, doesn't he? He's, very, very good player, but very, very raw as well.
He's Tanu Manga's nephew, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. A lot of talk about potentially playing for England, but if you're going to put him in the England squad, someone like Joe Simmons needs to be in there, or someone like that ahead of him for sure.
I still think like he's. I mean, as you say, he's young. He's still got a lot to learn, but he's not ready. He's not ready for that step up yet. No. But with the way George Ford's been going lately, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Simmons or Umanga maybe in the longer term who've got to get their chance soon. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Sean O'Farrell says the Western Force 31 points up against the Waratahs in Super Rugby. I'd love to watch more Super Rugby, but sometimes just at ridiculous times over here. Lucius seems to agree with Kyle. Can't stand the man. I'm sure that's on Stephen Jones. You can't watch the game out in France, but you're welcome to join us here and watch this watch along. Welcome to the watch along. Make sure you subscribe and like the stream as well. Ford's been playing well for Leicester. I think George Ford is actually a really good 10. And I think he's quality, and I think he probably will go on the Lions.
Really? I don't think he will.
I love Bigger, but it just depends. Is Gatland going to do what Gatland always does and picks his favourites, or is he going to pick players on form? He's spoken about, over the past week about players saying, it won't be the same squad that went 4 years ago. There'll be players who missed out who would have gone 4 years ago. So he's been very open and honest about that. He's alluded a little bit to the fact that, there may be more Scottish and not so many English players on the tour. So it's going to be, for me, I would start Sexton at 10. That's who I would start at 10. But it's whether his body can hold up. And I would be concerned that, you're going to have these warm-up matches. You're going to play against the provisional sides. Of course, you've got Japan up at Murrayfield first up. So it's going to be interesting to see, is he going to try a lot of different things out, or he's going to say, right, this is my set team. I pretty much know my team before going. I don't know what the mindset of a head coach is going into something like that. Does I would say he knows at least half of his starting 15 now, at least. And then he'll have to think, all right, these positions are up for grabs. So for me, I would take Sexton, Ford and Russell as 10s. That's what I would take.
Okay, that's... what was that?
Good work.
Yeah, no, I think Ford will just miss out. I think he will go with. I think he will go with Sexton. I actually do think he'll go with Finn Russell as well, and I think he'll take Farrell as the 10-12 option. Again, whether he deserves to go, I'm of the opinion that's no. But I mean, you see, Paul O'Connell's saying he should be captain, and I'm like, Paul, have you forgotten to take your brain medicine the day you said that?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was quite funny.
He's generally a smart guy, but that one, I think, no, you're off your rocker thinking he should be captain there.
No, definitely. I just don't. Sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry, I don't know if Farrell's like he gets away with so much. He's got so many obvious flaws in his game, his tackling technique especially, and you just think, these so-called experts, why are they not like, they're saying like, oh, Finn Russell, you can be a maverick, you can do this and that. It's like, fine, but like this guy is like, his tackling technique, like he's a red card waiting to happen. It's just been...
Yeah, exactly. And with the way the game is going now, and if you think about the tackles he put in against South Africa a couple of years ago, I think it was, that's just good enough. But my biggest issue with Farrell is he's not captain material. We've seen it a couple of times over the course of the Six Nations. First of all, against us, against Wales, England fell apart in that, and you've got to say that for Farrell, his leadership is shocking. He can't control his emotions. He doesn't speak well to referees. He piss you off as a ref, and his way he talks to his players is just not good enough. He doesn't get that message across. He doesn't keep his head. We also saw against Ireland when England were getting absolutely battered. There was just no change in anything from England. There was nothing that really encouraged me. Is that coming from Eddie Jones or is that coming from Owen Farrell? I'm not too sure. But it'd be interesting to see if he goes on. For me, when he's played this season, he's been poor playing for England. Has hardly played for Sarries. I don't even know if he's played for Sarries this season. So you've got to pick players on form. Otherwise, what is the incentive for players to be playing well? There is no incentive. They know they're not going to get picked. And I think that's something that Gatland needs to do. It's like Louis Rees-Zammit. Someone commented on yesterday's watch long saying Louis Rees-Zammit isn't ready for the Lions. And I think for me, he's been one of the form players in the Six Nations. Played very well for a very poor Gloucester side across the Premiership, being their shining light. If you're good enough, if you're good enough, you're old enough, and that's the way I see it. You should be picked and played. Look at Antoine Dupont, 22 years old, probably the best player in the world right now.
Yeah,
and, if he was available for the Lions, if he was Welsh, Irish, English, or Scottish, he'd be starting. So that's the way that I see it.
He's got that ability, Louis Rees-Zammit, like he showed with that try against Scotland, but he can he's got the skill and the brain to like turn something into nothing. So those sort of players. I mean, to say he's not ready for the Lions, don't know what those folk are talking about. I mean, you just look at him and how he plays and how he conducts himself, and you just think like this is a kid who's on the up. He's got all the abilities. It's just a case of like sort of keep going, keep working hard, which is what he's doing. And he's definitely a bright future. So, but no, I'd definitely take him.
Yeah, 100%. Wasps coming forward here, just up to the 5-metre line. They do have an advantage for potentially 2 high tackles there. There's an opportunity. Wasps have put a lot of pressure on, but haven't seen much fruits from their labour yet. It's good defence there, good tackle from Hogg. We'll get to some of your questions in just a second. But Wasps dominating really here, but
they've had most of the match so far. It's just Exeter's 2 tries. We've seen them.
Another advantage to Wasps. Exeter need to watch their discipline here. Ball comes out wide. Umaga gets out. They just seem to lack ideas, this Wasps team. As Robson knocks
back to the penalty there.
You see. Now, the question is, does the referee have a word here? Or is he going to...
Well, I think it's because the first offence has really been in the red zone. It's normally after 2. It's normally after 2 or 3 that they start to have the words.
And Wasps are going for the post, so they'll take the points in this one. Let's get some more of your comments. Freddie asks, who'd make your England captain? Who would be your captain for England if you were to pick for England?
I'd say Maro Itoje is getting to the point where he's ready. So yeah, I'd say Itoje and Curry a very good shout as well. So
yeah, I think Itoje as well. I think by the end of the Six Nations, he got the balance right with playing on the edge. At the start, he way too much. But by the end, especially in that France game, he got it perfect. And if he can play like that, then he surely will be one of the best players in his position in the world. Without a doubt, he can be of that quality. And I don't know, it'd be interesting to see who partners Alan Wynne in the locks, because Alan Wynne is going to start. It's just a fact. Marcus just got the penalty there. But it would be interesting to see who he picks. Will he go with Itoje off reputation, or does he go with someone like an Ian Henderson, or maybe go with a Gray from Scotland, someone like that? It'd be interesting to see who he picks. But Itoje is a good shout. I think Curry leads by example. I don't see him being a loud talker in the dressing room, but certainly someone that would lead by example. Farrell is starting for Sarries this weekend, so interesting to see who he goes. Dave Cherry should be Lions captain, apparently. So that would be interesting to see. But he did have a good Six Nations, but not quite this time.
Yeah.
Exeter attacking here, aren't they? 5 meters out, Simmons.
Yeah, it's a penalty, is it? No, got the ball, so it's free ball.
Good turnover from Wasps there.
Aye. I do think, though, Itoje, the Six Nations, was just a kind of bit more of a lapse for him, and I don't know that was entirely his fault, because considering he hadn't played for months prior to playing the Six Nations. But yeah, you're right. But also his discipline sometimes you could argue a bit to be desired. But I expect him and Alan Wynne to be the lock starters. I'd still go with Tag Byrne and Alan Wynne, as we discussed on the video we did. So
yeah, Tag Byrne also offers something over the ball, doesn't he? Because that's something that he's been very, very, very good at recently, especially over the course of the Six Nations. He's really impressed me with his work over the ball and the amount that he does in those areas. And I thought he's one of the best players in the Six Nations this year. So, no, I think he was very, very good. Obviously not as good as Hamish Watson, who won the Six Nations Player of the Tournament.
Heal the niche.
And rightly so. Surely he's got to start for the Lions, you'd think, and all the comments this week that people are putting that he's too small, he's not strong enough, he's not big enough.
Well, he's been told, the idiot who said that's been totally debunked. Like, and I remember actually when he played, when we played South Africa in 2018, we just lost narrowly to him. Hamish Watson scored a try and had an excellent game that match. I remember, and I imagine he's going to be going up against the bulk of the similar pack this summer. And also he's just his ability as well, and also the fact he runs in a bit of a lower center of gravity. I think that could be more awkward for the big boys like Etzebeth or Diego or Snyman or whoever is the second row, and Detroit as well. Because they'll give them a different look and make them think a bit differently. But so, and obviously he's strong over the ball as well. And I think he's strong enough to hold his weight against the power of the box clear outs. But
and he offers something different. Oh, lovely try. Wasps have got a try here after all this. Finally, they've got a score. I actually just completely missed that because out the corner. My eyes were
way too much there.
Josh Bassett getting his 38th try in 106 Premiership matches there. Let's have a look back at this and see how this one came about. So straight off the kick there. Oh, has Hoggy kept it in? Hoggy keeps it in.
He takes too long. No, he takes too long.
He gets charged down and really silly play there from Hogg.
Yeah, it took too long. Tried to be clever.
And Bassett collects it from the charge down and crashes over. So Wasps with an unlikely try there, but they'll take that for sure. I don't think Hogg's having a poor game. It's just a small mistake, It's just a mistake. All players make mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Exeter really suits the way Hogg wants to play. I don't think it really suits his style at all, the way he plays. But take the lead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll make his Lions position in any doubt. Really good conversion there from Umaga. So Wasps leading here 13 points to 10 as we push towards half time. About 6 minutes to go until then. So Wasps taking the lead, and deservedly so. They've probably been the better team in this match over the course of the game so far.
Yeah, they have been.
So very, very, to some extent impressed by them, because last time these two teams played, obviously Wasps managed to get the win that day, and they'll be looking to do the double over Exeter this week. Ball's bouncing a little bit everywhere. Where's that gone? Wasps still have possession then. Trying a little grubber through there, but Johnny Hill collects, and Hogg with maybe a little bit of space to run here. Steps. He goes. Good offload to Cordero. There's got to be space out wide for them if they can get it out wide, which they look to do. Simmons counts.
I mean, not there, but I do think going to Exeter has helped Stuart Hogg. Like in the, he's a lot more of a solid player. Like his kicking game's also generally improved in terms of accuracy as well.
Yeah.
But the slightly sad thing is though, his attacking game is, I like to see him run with the ball a bit more than he. Yeah. I think that's kind of like sort of gone. I don't want to say backwards, but he doesn't do it as much since he's moved to Exeter. But
Exeter are always built on power and defence, aren't they? And so
a lot of teams are. Yeah,
they're not they're not like a Bristol where you get the ball and it's like just go, just run, just try something. That isn't the information and the instruction given to players. But I do think him playing at a high level certainly helps. We've seen it with Finn Russell out at Racing. He's massively improved since going out there. It's interesting because for Scotland, it seems to have worked. But for Welsh players, it never really worked. The only player I really think who made a big success out of going to France was Stephen Jones, who played for Clermont. That's the only one that I can really think of. Lydia really struggled with injuries.
Gareth Thomas, captain due to 2000 Grand Slam.
Did pretty well. But apart from that, Jonathan Davis didn't do all that well. Jamie Roberts really struggled with injuries. James Hook went to Perpignan, which was a little bit of an odd move. Mike Phillips went to Bayonne.
Got relegated, didn't he, at Perpignan?
Yeah, it got relegated. Mike Phillips went to Bayonne and went to Racing as well, and was second choice at Racing behind Machino all the time there. Dan Lydiard was injured. Who else went out? Luke Charteris went out, was okay, I think. But at the end of the day, you can't blame players who want to go out, earn a little bit of money, play in a different league, beautiful weather. Absolutely can't blame them. I have no problem with players wanting to do that at all. I don't see anything wrong with that. So just under 5 minutes to go. But your thoughts on that then? Players going abroad. Are you happy that you don't have a Gatland's law in Scotland? Or would you like, Umaga? Oh, you're juggling the ball there. But what are your thoughts on like players going abroad and playing? Because in Wales, we're seeing players coming back to us now, which can only benefit the game. But does it benefit the individual players? I'm not too sure. What are your thoughts from a Scottish perspective?
No, I'm okay with it. The only issue I kind of have with it is regards to the control with the international setup. I mean, I've no gripes with any individual feeling like they want to go to England or France. Like, you can't blame them for wanting to earn a bit of money as much as you know, we can criticize like the system with that and the ins and outs and how that works. But you know, individually, if we were in the position, we were a player and we were offered that money, we wouldn't say no to it. So can't blame for that. Can't blame for wanting to try different cultures, different styles of rugby, etc. No, I mean, my only gripe, as I said, is in terms of the international window, because I think I don't want us to go down the road of football and that, because I think the international window should be, where possible, all players should be available for that, for whatever team, whatever they're playing. And it's kind of gone down the road that with the international windows and that, which I still think still needs a lot of work, a lot of work around. So that's my only gripe with it. But aside from that, if players want to go away and play their club rugby elsewhere, that's no issues. Especially in Scotland, since we've only got 2 pro teams, our depth isn't going to be as big as in Wales or Ireland or France or England. So that has to come into the equation as well. That it could be a chance to improve the depth in Glasgow and Edinburgh to go to Scotland too. So yeah, definitely. It's
obviously here in Wales we have the 4 regions. Scotland only have the 2 sides up there, and I don't know. It's really weird here in Wales. We have, if we're being honest, at least 3 regions who are massively underperforming. Ospreys maybe are the better of the 4 at the minute, but Cardiff Blues, I was just thinking about their back line day before with Ben and saying they've got people like Jared Evans has just committed to the region. You got Thomas Williams, who before his injury would have been Wales' starting 9. In the centre, you've got Lilo, who's been a quality player for years. Halaholo, who's looked very, very good for Wales over the course of the 6 Nations. Josh Adams, one of the best finishers in the world. Matthew Morgan, okay, defensively isn't great, but going forward is really exciting. Hallam Amos, full international. You look at that back line, and they should be doing so much better than they are. But as you say, when the international window comes around, all these players go, and then the regional game massively suffers. And that's why Leinster do so well. It's because their depth is ridiculous. So when the internationals go, their second team could beat any of the other teams pretty comfortably anyway. So their third team's been putting out and winning comfortably. So that's the problem, I think, with the international window. But would it work having like a globalized calendar? I don't know, with all the different seasons and things like that. It's be very, very difficult to do that. Exeter coming forward here, nearly half-time, minute and a half away. 13 points to 10 down against Wasps. This would be quite a big shock in terms of the table. But Exeter, I don't know, not very creative at all, really. don't look like scoring all that much here. Going side to side. O'Flaherty, of course, got 2 tries last week. Let's see if he can do something. Tackled, though. And penalty to Wasps, and just no creativity. Nothing from Exeter there. And in the end, not releasing the ball. So penalty to Wasps. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. There's a win difference in the second half. In the first half, Chiefs have them in the second. I mean, we've seen it with Wasps where they've been leading and they've lost in the dying embers of a match. So against Clermont last time they played as well. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams manage the second half and how they go. So last chance for Wasps to create something. If you're watching and you're new, make sure to subscribe and like the stream and check out Kyle's channel. I'll drop a link to that during halftime. Do go head over there, pushing towards 200 subs and making some fantastic videos, actually, all about the Lions at the minute and anything that's going on in rugby. So do check it out. Wasps final chance, then Dan Robson, lovely ball inside to the try scorer Bassett. Robson's so slow at the breakdown.
Boy,
takes an age. And the ball's been turned.
Exeter to have a go.
If I'm Exeter here, I just kick it off now. I think I just kick it off and we just go in at half time.
Yeah,
but and that's what they decide to do. So at half time, Exeter trailing this one 10 points to 13. It is half time in this one. Your thoughts on that first half? Not all that much happening, but you've got to say, Wasps deserve it. Deserve going in at the lead.
Yeah, yes, indeed. I mean, their try obviously came off a mistake, but they've had most of the territory. They've had most of the play. One of Exeter's tries came off a counter attack and dubious obstruction, which we need to look at again to have a proper look. But no, I think Wasps deserve it. But I think Exeter will come out firing in the second half, and it's still a tight game. So I think, as you said, like how Wasps will be as the game goes on, I think it could play more into Exeter's hands.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how the second half goes. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Make sure you subscribe and you've liked the stream as well. And of course, I'll drop a link to Kyle's channel in the chat. So make sure you head over there, subscribe to him as well. And we will be back in a second to go through that first half in a little bit more detail and look forward to the second half. So there we go. We are back. It is half time in this one. Exeter Chiefs shedding 10 points to 13. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me know where you're watching from in the chat. I have some exciting news to bring you. If you weren't in the watch along yesterday, I'm going to be starting a weekly/fortnightly podcast. I'm not too sure which one. It's going to be called the Rugby Breakdown. So I'm going to be having loads of different guests on. It's going to be on here on the channel. And a lot of time, I'm going to ask you to vote on the topic of what you want us to talk about. So that's going to be coming out over the next few weeks. Hopefully, got a lot planned with the Lions coming up as well. So make sure you are subscribed for that. I'm working on a lot of exciting bits, different projects, different things on the side as well. Hopefully, to bring you some different things. I will be taking a break over the next few days. Been really going ham really with this YouTube recently, and just feel like time to take a break, step back a bit. And I'm going to go visit some family, but then I'll be back later next week with the Rainbow Cup coming up. And on Saturday, we've got so many watch-alongs going on. So I can't wait to bring you them. But yes, 10 points to 13 at half-time in this one. We're going to welcome Kyle back into the studio. Kyle is back in. Sorry, mate. So you're going for a bit of a lie down there. Just a round to go. Thoughts on that first half? It's not been the most entertaining first half, but as we watch this try back with Darrow there, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on it? Is it an obstruction?
Very cute. Yes, I think you'd have to say yes, slightly, because he's changed his angle of running to stop Miller getting across to try and make the tackle. So he's a lucky boy. Let's just say that.
Yeah. It's very borderline. If it's your team, you're like, that's very clever. Right. If it's not your team, you're like, you're cheating, little beep, 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 beep. So
well, the thing is, if he just kept his running his same angle, he would have been okay. But he changed his angle to clearly try and block Miller off a bit. So yeah, he's a very, very lucky to get away with that, I'd say.
You could say maybe that Miller could have done a bit more himself just to get out of Cordero's way, but still, it's very, it's a 50-50 one for me. If that was the Ospreys, I'd be like, good work. Who would it be? Alan Wynne-Jones, good work, because he likes to wind up people. But if it was Josh Navidi from the Blues, it might be a little bit of a different answer. But you got to say, Wasps so far have absolutely dominated, and maybe Exeter lucky to be this close in the game.
You could say so. I mean, they're just showing the Johnny Hill try back there, a very good try. But again, I think the second half's going to be a bit different. Expect Exeter to come out firing, and as we were saying before the wee break there, we'll question marks as to how Wasps can go over 80 minutes.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, they showed it against Clermont last week. They just seemed to run out of gas near the end. They just didn't really have enough in the tank to go through to the next round of the Champions Cup, Champions Cup. That's what it was, as they lost to Clermont as well in that one. Let's have a little bit of a chat about your channel, because recently you changed things up on your channel a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that, because I've been so impressed by the content you've been putting out recently. So plug away shamelessly.
Oh, well, I've just been really doing it through audio and just putting pictures up, so you don't have to see my ugly face all the time on the channel. And obviously doing audio is I find a lot easier with regards to editing and such, and you don't hear me rambling on as you do probably when you have me on here very often. So sort of I can edit that, I'll enjoy it. But no, just trying to come up with more informative content, and obviously with the Lions tour coming up, trying to put my thoughts across there, see if I can inform folk watching, get them what they think, and obviously if they want to comment, feedback, or any suggestions or anything that any opinions, obviously, just feel free to go ahead and do that. And obviously my picks, I stand by that. I think it should be a 40-man squad going to South Africa for the Lions. I think it will be 36. It looks more or less nailed on now. It's going to be that. But my squad selection seemed to go down pretty well. Picked a couple of players that maybe sort of international wise aren't in at the front of everyone's minds, and tried to pick on form best I could. And keep watching my stuff, give me feedback, and I'm keeping going. I've got another video I'm working on right now, which is going to be my predicted Lions squad. It's not my opinion one; it's just what I predict it's going to be, and that's going to be hopefully going out tomorrow, I think.
Nice, awesome. So I'm going to drop a link to Kyle's channel in the chat now. So if you have not yet checked it out for whatever reason, make sure you do so. Head over there, subscribe. He's pushing close towards 200 subs, which would be awesome to help him hit. So let me just drop a link now. Oh, only 11 subscribers away from that. That's decent, that. Didn't realize you were getting that close. That's really good. So Kyle's channel is linked in the chat now. Do head over there, subscribe, and check it out if you have not yet done so. So head over there and subscribe. This game, then, we are nearly ready for the second half here. Exeter, I think, are quite lucky to still be in this game. What do you think is the mindset of Exeter going into the second half now? Surely Rob Baxter would have had a few harsh words to say.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they've not actually been too bad because, they've not, apart from Stuart Hoggs with a charge down, they've not given Wasps any cheap tries. But again, just try and play in Wasps half. Don't be too stupid with the ball. Yeah. I think the main message would just be playing Wasps half, really. Yeah.
And for Wasps, I mean, the question is, do they have the energy to still go through this? You'd like to think that they do, but we've seen historically that they don't. But you got to say, Umarga's been dancing around a couple of players, but still looks a little bit raw, a few mistakes here and there. But what about for Wasps? What do they need to do the second half to ensure that they get the win?
I think mostly do what they're doing so far, Brandon, to be honest. Again, be more clinical when they're going spreading the ball wide, because they've had a couple of opportunities they've blown. And yeah, just that's it really. Just try and keep the ball, be more clinical with it. And as the same way Exeter, try your best to play in Exeter's half. Yeah,
definitely. They've got to play in the right areas of the pitch. We're ready for the second half. I've just realised my laptop is nearly about to die, so I'm going to stick a charger on. There we go. Charger is pretty much in and ready to go. Always professional as always. Always remembering. So there we go. We are all set for the second half. Luchib asks, what football team do you support? If you support one, do you support any football teams, Kyle, or are you just a rugby man through and through?
I like to see my home city team, Aberdeen, doing well. Yeah, aside from that, not really got a devoted team, really. So,
and if it comes to the regions, is there a region in Scotland that you prefer, or is it more you just want to see both of them doing well domestically and in Europe?
Both doing well. If I went to a Glasgow-Edinburgh game, I'd probably be neutral, although I'd most likely be sitting mostly with Glasgow supporters because I live here. So, yeah, neutral. Like, I want to see them both doing well. Kind of disappointed with how both of them done since post the start of the pandemic, but hopefully that'll change next season, and that especially from Edinburgh's point of view, hopefully that'll be a write-off, but we shall see.
Yeah, you have to look at how Edinburgh have done this season. It has been disappointing. Glasgow as well. Big moves for both teams. Obviously, Edinburgh losing Duran van der Merwe going to Worcester. For me, I don't even know if that's really a step up. He's going to a team who are going to be, well, there's no relegation until 2024, but he's going to be battling in a team that's probably going to be near the bottom of the table for the next few seasons. I can't see that changing anytime soon. Do you think that's a good move for him? He is going to be playing against better quality players, but probably not at the tops of the table, is he?
Well, it'll certainly get him defending a lot more, and hopefully he'll improve that side of his game. And also, but I mean, again, with the ball in hand, he'd probably be the best finisher they could possibly get. So, hopefully from that point of view. But as you're saying, like, because he's joining Worcester, I'm expecting him to go into a team that's going to be losing more than winning, which, I don't want to see. But again, like, if he's, tempted away by the money, I can't really blame him. So good luck to him. Hope he does well. And yeah, that's it.
What about Mr. Hastings heading down to Gloucester? Your thoughts on that move? Obviously, he's second choice up with Scotland. He's obviously behind one of the best attacking fly halves in the world. But I quite like him. I think he's a decent player. But your thoughts on him moving to Gloucester again? Gloucester have had a tough season as well.
So, Adam Hastings, you say? Again, that could be a good move for him. Hopefully get some more depth into the Glasgow 10 shirt. I mean, there's a couple of prospects coming through there. Hopefully they'll get more of an opportunity now. I think Adam Hastings, it'll hopefully add a few strings to his bow there in terms of his ability as a player. So again, another one I just think good luck to him. You want to go, like, as long as you're free for the international duties when required or when wanted, and that's it really.
No, I think it's good. I think players going and playing against better opposition is only going to improve you. It's going to help your national team. They learn different styles of play. The two leagues are quite different. Good friend of the channel, Ben Ford, did a video on the differences between the Pro 14, between the Gallagher Premiership, and looked at that. So if you can learn different styles, I think it massively helps you. Like, I wouldn't have anything against if a player said for a year that they wanted to go to playing Super Rugby, and they're a young player, they're not going to play for the national team for a bit. You loan him out for the year and let him go play Super Rugby, then I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that will massively help you in your development. The second half has just kicked off. So Exeter trailing 10 points to 13. So we are off. So if you're just joining us, make sure to subscribe if you're watching, and you're new, hit the red button down below and like the stream as well. This is just a watch along, not an actual viewing of the game, but it is live on Channel 5 here in the UK, so it's free to watch. You can check it out there if you want to do that. So Exeter attacking here just outside the 22 of the Wasps, and they'll be looking for, you can already tell that Rob Baxter's had a few words with them already by the way they've started. Much more intense, isn't it?
Although two Wasps players were clearly offside there. Again, some of the referees should be picking up more.
Wasps have done well defensively, though, here. They have pushed Exeter back 7 phases in. Opportunity to go wide, potentially floating past to Hogg.
Bit on his own there.
Yeah, a little bit isolated, but support does come in the end from Harry Williams. Simmons on a lovely line. Is he held? Referee says no. Slade, Devoto.
Oh, ice guys.
He's isolated there.
We've got a good clear out.
Exeter not really going anywhere with this move, you'd have to say. Tried to throw the pass and it's pretty wild, and in the end, Wasps turn it over.
He's got a gun down.
They have managed to do it.
Joe Launchbury, someone haven't heard of in a while.
Yeah. In and out of the England camp a lot. Lots of injuries, hasn't he? Lots of injuries.
Well, he's had his injuries, but again, I think he's been, from what I've seen of him, he's been playing well enough to be at least in the England squad. So I don't know why Eddie's suddenly taking a huff with him now.
Yeah. Wow. Who knows? I mean, if Eddie takes the huff with you, usually there's not much understanding behind it, and nobody really knows what's going on because it's Eddie Jones.
Yeah, I think Eddie Jones will stay on as England coach, though, and I think he will have to take on board now. He's going to have to pick players on form because he can't just go into, because that was what really cost him, just relying on reputation of players, and half of them weren't fit enough or weren't playing well enough, and eventually, and playing that sort of turgid rugby they did in 2019, and eventually, I think that's going to kind of catch up on you, and it did in the Six Nations. So he's got to be he's a smart enough coach. I think he's got to be aware he's got to change stuff there. So
yeah, well, Eddie Jones contracted until just after the Rugby World Cup in 2023. I don't know if he'll stay after that.
No, I don't think he will. 8 years is a long time. Yeah,
I think there's a couple of few options that they could look at. I'm going to do a podcast on that actually, and hopefully get an England fan on to discuss that in a bit more detail. But of who could step in. Let's have a look at some more of your comments on the Duran van der Merwe move. Freddie says Worcester are on the up. Exeter do have Jack Knoll and Gray to come off the bench, and Launchby was injured during the Six Nations like Underhill. So good to hear them points there from Freddie. So penalty here to Wasps just outside their own 22. Umaga will send this one down.
I stand to be corrected, but it wasn't. It was only like the earlier games. I think Launchbury was injured, and he came. It was towards the last few games he came, started playing again, and he was ignored.
I'm not too sure, if I'm being totally honest. I'm not too sure.
I mean, if Freddie, sorry, Brandon, just say it, Freddie. If you have the answer there, just leave it in the comments. So. Yeah,
I'm not too sure. Obviously, Freddie watches the Premiership a lot more than I do because I'm an Ospreys fan, so I watch the Pro 14 a lot more. But I'm trying to watch different leagues, trying to watch different games, learn a bit more about each league. I'd love to do a top 14 match, but the problem is there's just no coverage here in the UK for it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing offers it. Sky, BT, none of the channels offer it, and we only get to see them in Europe now and again.
Well, if you're going off the the last Sunday's 2 quarterfinals, in terms of quality rugby, I wouldn't say you're missing too much.
I did a watch along for the Bordeaux Racing. Oh, Hogg!
Oh, it's Hogg's through. There we go. Oh, Devoto's too isolated. Oh, that's better.
Oh, lovely set. Got to go wide. Got to go left here, surely. Oh, poor Pat.
They're all standing too static on the left there.
But that's what Hogg can do. Launchby over the ball, really good steal there from Launchby. But for the first time in this match, we've really seen Hogg with a little bit of space, unable to create something out of nothing. He just steps. Oh, it's a lovely step. It's a lovely step. That's the first time we've seen Hogg do something like that. But as you said, on the 2 French games last week, I did a watch along for the Bordeaux Racing one, and honestly, it was such a bad game, and I was praying and hoping that there'd be a try. Obviously, there was a try at the end. I got super excited. Then it wasn't counted as a try, and then after that, we had Jalibert kick that monster kick, and I was so glad that he got it because I did not want extra time. I did not want extra time with that.
Yeah.
Clermont Toulouse, which was a pretty poor game as well, which I did on Ben's channel, which was not all that good at all.
I mean, that's the thing. Even though, as you say, it was probably.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, Sam Simmons. No, it's not quite.
No, good pickup, but needs support. The game's opening up a little bit here. Wasps struggling a tiny bit now. Is it a fitness thing for Wasps, or is it just other quality now?
Knocked on there.
Yeah, knocked on there. Right. Do you think it's a fitness thing for Wasps, or is it that Exeter just beginning to play now?
Bit of both, I think. Bit of both. There's been a couple of sloppy tackles from Wasps, so that have led to there, but
yeah.
No.
Talking about the Bordeaux Racing game last week, I thought Jalibert was the best player on the pitch by a long way. I was talking to Ben about it last week, about Jalibert against Untimac. If you were Galtier, who would you be starting at 10 for France in the summer tours this summer?
On form, you have to say Jalibert, and just with how he played in the Six Nations as well. Even I know Untimac only started one game, but Jalibert is just. I've had my question marks about him because I wasn't sure how he'd be as a kind of foil player for Dupont with regards to controlling a game, but he's been absolutely excellent. So I think you have to pick him as a start. Yeah. But
no, I think he's quality, and I think he offers that X factor. The little chip that he did over the top for Dupont's try against Wales was just outstanding. And his kick as well, the nerves to kick. I think he's 22 years old. Bordeaux, obviously, traditionally a huge club in France compared to the other big boys, and he's really carried them into a semi-final on his own. He's really put them into a semi-final. They have a really tough game against, Leinster, La Rochelle, who's the other one? Toulouse. Really tough game against Toulouse, and you back Toulouse to win that. But Jalibert at 10 can really control a game and can really make a massive difference.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating battle, though, because you've got him coming into Mac and Jalibert playing against each other. So, Yeah,
it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see that one, see how that one goes. A penalty here,
but
in this one.
But yeah, I mean, you're right about the Bordeaux Racing game. I mean, again, you could argue tense and but mainly just because of how close it was at the end, and Jalibert getting that kick to win it, and it's yeah, but it was just the quality of rugby. It was just what I saw of it. It was just garbage. It was just what
was happening? Every 10 seconds, there's a penalty at the breakdown, or there's a knock on, or there was a stupid kick out on the full, and there just wasn't that balance in the game that you'd want. There really was it just did not flow. There's no flow, no rhythm, no momentum for either side. And you'd say Bordeaux were probably the better team on the day, just about, but they were the better of two awful sides. Hogg.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
The Scottish captain gets a try, and over the last 5 minutes or so, he's really begun to turn up. And Exeter, for all their dominance now in this first 10 minutes of the second half, have taken the lead. And tiredness and the quality of Exeter now, I think, is beginning to come through in this one. Really good finish there from Hogg. 15 points to 13 up now, Exeter. Off the line out, stolen line out. And they just get it out wide quickly. And it's really good hands from the forwards there to get it out. I'm just watching it back here. I think it's Devoto who does really well there and pops it up to Hogg, who goes and scores. It's a good finish from Scotland captain.
That's an easy conversion for Simmons.
2 points, even I could get that. Maybe. 17 points to 13 up now. Next score is really important in this one, but you feel as if maybe this is Exeter's to lose now in this one. But really good from Hogg. What are your thoughts on him as a captain? Because I know at the start you had your question marks. Have you been impressed by him? Are you happy with him now as captain, even as a fullback? Is he involved enough in the game for you?
Yeah, no, I think he's. I think I said to you before, as I said at the start, I wasn't too sure, but he's learned on the job as he's gone on. He has shown good leadership from fullback, which is, and obviously, sort of he is one of our genuinely world class players. So, just no me. I've been impressed by him, and in a weird way, I think it's also stepped up some other players' games in the forwards in a sort of a kind of unusual, weird way. But that's an intercept.
Cordero's going to score in the corner here. It was an outrageous attempt at a pass, and Santiago Cordero scores in the corner for Exeter, and you'd have to say that's probably game over now with that try. And it's if you're going to give a winger that much space and that much opportunity, he's going to finish in the pass.
It was a good jump from him, to be fair, to get it. But the pass was just No,
it wasn't.
Too risky, too wild.
Yeah, way too wild. 22 points to 13 now. And when you're in that position as a team, when you just conceded, you just want to do the simple things well and ensure that you're in the right areas, you have a clean exit, and not try something ridiculous like that. And that's kind of got themselves.
The thing is, it was a flanker out there. It wasn't like it was a fast winger who could skin the outside of him. So, really, just careless play.
Is it Sapo? I can never say his name. Sapawong. I don't even know how to say his name. Let me try and read it.
Fekitoa.
I thought it was going to be Sapawong. I don't even know how to say his name. He's going to Lyon in the summer anyway, but I don't know how to say his name. But that was Fekitoa. He's not even playing today, but I can't remember how to say his name.
Fekitoa is an ex-All Black, so should be doing better there.
Yeah, and the conversion is missed again.
That's the bonus point for Exeter now at the start of the second half.
Yeah. Simmons has missed 3 of his conversions here, so must be a little bit of wind down there. But you'd have to say that's game over now, do you think?
More or less. There's a few Wasp players looking out on their feet a bit. So
yeah.
And Exeter have just got a bit of a stranglehold on, but
yeah. Ball bouncing everywhere there. Not sure who's going to have that line out. It is.
I think it did come off a Wasps player. I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Some change. There has been a change for Wasps, and I think it's the guy I was trying to say his name.
Soponga.
That's the one.
Soponga.
Forwards,
definitely forwards.
Sapoaga. I think that's how you say it. He, of course, is joining Lyon at the end of the season. That was confirmed earlier today. But
I mean, he was. No, he was not. He was a All Black. I think he has been capped by the All Blacks. He was a prospect for them years ago, and I think he played a big part in when the Highlanders won the Super League. I think 2012. I think 2015. Correct me. I'm not sure the dates, but I just remember the season. He had an excellent partnership with Aaron Smith as the halfbacks, and they won the Super League for the Highlanders. So.
Yeah, he's actually played nearly 20 times for New Zealand. Last cap came back in 2017, but he's been with the Wasps for the past 3 years, but he is heading over to Lyon at the end of the season. He's heading out to France and will earn the big bucks in south of France. But you can't blame players for it. I've got no issue with players doing that. No issue at all. If you know that you're not going to play for your national team, then why not go play? Beautiful area of the world, nice and warm. Enjoy the food, enjoy the wine, enjoy the culture, do something a bit different, earn the big money, and go back to New Zealand in 3-4 years. Maybe play a little bit. Probably won't play Super Rugby again, but we'll have earned the money and chill out. And absolutely nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I have no problem with that at all. Players deciding to do that. I do the same. I mean, if someone says to you, right, 100 grand, you can play in Japan. For a year, you earn 500 grand. You're not playing for your country. Playing a league that is a lot less difficult, less on the body. Incredible country to go to. Why not? Teddy Thomas doing it, which I find a bit weird because Teddy Thomas playing for France regularly, playing for Racing regularly, and yet going to Japan. I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, that's a weird. I mean, that's a weird one because he's still a French international with a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't see Fabien Galtier particularly favouring him while he's over there. So
no, not at all. But Teddy Thomas is going to go to Japan in the summer. But this game's really turned badly for Wasps now. I mean, nothing's going their way in this one at this point.
Yeah.
Knock on there, I think, in the line out. But yeah, the ball just not bouncing their way at all. And
well, he picks up that obstruction.
Well,
understand why if there's Wasps fans feeling aggrieved at that.
Yeah, you have to say so. So Exeter have gone to the corner here, looking to really kill this game off. Wasps have a chance in this game, but if Exeter get a try here, it's 100% game done. And it's just going to be too much of a gap for Wasps. Wasps have actually stolen this out of the line out. So both teams' lineouts aren't looking all too safe. Dan Robson will kick this one upfield. He takes way too long at the breakdown for me.
Yeah, he's got a good pass on him, but yeah, I agree with you. His speed of delivery is something to be desired.
Yeah, he's not quite as bad at taking his time as the Sale fly half McGinty, who, let's just say takes the full 90 seconds to take his kick.
Well, so does Sexton, so does Farrell. So.
It's like an MLR. They're doing this thing now where you have 60 seconds to take the kick from the minute you get the ball in your hands. So you have 60 seconds to take the kick.
Well, like I said, I'd be in favour of that, or 30 seconds as soon as you're as soon as you put it on the tee and you're step back and you're ready for your run up. About 30 seconds from there. So
yeah, Game's getting a little bit scrappy here now. Wasps still trying to create something, but this solid defence from Exeter is making it a little bit difficult. Opportunity out wide. If they can get this one out wide, they do have a man over.
Not quite.
Good hands from the forwards. What are your thoughts on the Premiership? 2024, no relegation until at least then, but it's going to be 16 teams, so it's likely to be Sarries and the Ealing Trailfinders. What are your thoughts on that? You happy with that, or do you think the lack of promotion, as we've seen in the Pro 14, makes it less competitive as a league?
Yeah, I think the less competitive is I'm leaning more towards, but in the current pandemic, I mean, I understand why there's reason for them going down that road, but I mean, I prefer to see promotion relegation kind of system. Although how many games they play and how many is in the league, I think could be up for debate. Because of course, rugby and football, they're not the same sports. Like, if you're playing that many games of rugby like this, toll on your body is going to be a lot more so than in football. So it needs to be. That's something I think I want to see more looked at. But I'd be more in favour of the promotion relegation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think something like the Six Nations needs it. The Pro 14 is a little bit more difficult because of where all the teams are based, and how would you sort another second division out? How would you do that? That'd be very difficult to do. But I think in the Premiership, to keep it competitive and to ensure that the teams at the bottom this season, I mean, they'd absolutely count their blessings because there's no relegation. Now they know for the next 4 years we can be mediocre. Owners will think we don't really need to invest because we're safe for the next 5 years. We're safe for the next 3 years. Sorry, we're safe. So that's what you're thinking now. It's like, actually, I can just take my time with it. Don't have to invest all that much, and and as long as I stay in the Prem, fans will be back hopefully in the next 6 to 8 months, maybe. And start making the money once again. And to convince a player to come to Worcester, Duhan van der Merwe has been convinced to go. Would he have accepted if relegation was a thing? I'm not too sure he would have accepted the offer. So 20 minutes to go.
Jack Nowell's on. First time he's played in ages.
Yeah. Do you remember there was a time when Eddie Jones said he'd play 7? You remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, Eddie Jones likes to say a few things. Hogg with a little bit of space to run here.
I think there was a match he did actually when he was when England were down to 40 men or something, and they needed a back rower for something. Or
is the bounce?
I can't remember details beyond that.
Hogg has grown into this game, hasn't he? Lovely little offload there from. Well,
it's a lot better second half.
Yeah, and it is opening up quite a bit in this one now. Good to see.
No, but he's one of these players, Hoggy, where he'll make one mistake and you'll just try and bounce back twice as much. He won't.
Yeah, definitely.
He won't let fester away too much. So
yeah. No, I really like Hogg, and certainly for me would be the starting fullback for the Lions against South Africa. To be honest, I don't think he's really got all that much competition in that position either. I don't think there's that much competition.
Well, I mean, obviously, I expect Liam Williams will be the other fullback that's going.
Yeah.
With the way Liam Williams has been last year, you've touched on it as well, just with his discipline and at times, just not been at his best. I don't think defensively he was as good as we know he can be in the Six Nations either. So, but I also like to chuck in, as I put in my squad, I think Hugo Keenan of Ireland should be in the conversation as well. Whether he'll go or not, I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think he might just miss out, but I would definitely put him, with how he's been playing for both Ireland and Leinster, definitely deserves.
I agree that he deserves to be mentioned. I mean, you look, Lee Halfpenny hasn't played any rugby really, and he's not at the level that he was 3-4 years ago. Liam Williams, again, the discipline thing for me is a massive issue, and the way he says, like, he's been red carded a couple of times over the last few months, and he said things under his breath afterwards, which really doesn't help him. I think he's a quality player. He's feisty, which you need, but he needs to learn to get the balance right. Exeter making a few changes here, but I think Hugo Keenan hasn't put a foot wrong. Obviously, we've seen Simon Zebo coming back to Munster, and apparently that's been pushed a lot by Farrell and by the Irish Rugby Federation. So that's been pushed more by them than by Munster themselves. So Zebo, does he start over Keenan for you, or does Keenan?
I think at the moment, you still have, for Ireland anyway, you still have to say Keenan, because he's just he's been doing really well, and I think he's a player definitely on the up. So no, absolutely, I think Keenan still, and Zebo, he's still got his question marks to me over his ability into the high ball, and but I mean, he's a quality player, and if he can get himself back to playing as we know he can, he's got every chance of getting an Ireland cap again.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go on the Lions tour, not on the Lions, on the Irish tour this summer, Zebo, if that's been pushed by the Irish Rugby Federation. If they push that, he's going to go. And it's only a 1-year deal, which to me says that his wages were absolutely ridiculous. Coming from Racing, I expect that he'd want quite a decent amount of money. They're checking
the thing is also, Brandon, you've got to take into account the fact Zero's in his 30s now. I think he's 30.
31, isn't he? 31,
yeah, 30, going to be 31 or 31 already. So that's another thing to take into the equation as well. And because normally at that age, I mean, I know like with Ireland, obviously they seem to be going with 1-year rolling deals like they're doing with Sexton and Keith Earls as well. So that's probably what they're thinking is.
Dohu. First time we've seen him when with ball in hand. Umaga puts the little kick through. Not going to work for them this time, but Wasps looking to play from their own 22. But on the Zebo thing, I think Zebo's a quality player. I think he will have improved from playing at Racing. I feel sorry for Mike Haley at fullback for Munster. I think he's been very, very good over the past couple of seasons and really pushing to be in the Ireland squad. And yeah, as you said, Hugo did really well. I don't see Zebo would start for Ireland ahead of him.
Yeah, well, Zebo, obviously can play on the wing as well, and we've got Haley. They've also got Matt Gallagher there at Munster, don't they? The guy who was a Saracens prospect, but he's eligible for Ireland. Of course, he's the son of Brendan Gallagher, who of course was the New Zealand fullback in the 1987 World Cup. So he's another one who's a prospect for them. So
No, definitely. But interesting to see Zebo coming back to Ireland, and as I said, it was something that was pushed a lot by Andy Farrell, by the Irish Rugby Federation, and by Zebo himself, not so much by Munster. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. But I think COVID makes players think about what's important. They want to come home and be with their families and stuff like that. So I think we've seen a lot of players coming back to their respective nations, and also the prospect of playing for their country. We've seen it here with Wales. The law is simple. You need to come back, or you need to be over a set amount of caps. So we've seen a lot of players coming back now to the regions. But there's a couple of players like Nick Tompkins who I just don't see him playing for Wales again. Honestly, I don't see a region picking him up.
Well,
I just don't see it happening.
Well, you never know. Like, you could say that now. Next year, he could be the form centre in the British Isles. He gets in, so a lot can change in a year. So
yeah, true. A lot can certainly change. Definitely. 15 minutes to go in this one. Exeter leading 22 points to 13. They have the bonus point already, so you think that this is job done for them, but they just need to see this one out. But no, I've been very impressed by Exeter in this second half. I've been very impressed by their intensity, and also, Hogg has stepped up in the second half as well, which is good to see. Knocked on. Chance for Exeter here. Big carry from Simmons. They can get this ball out wide. There may be a bit of space. They decide to kick for the space. Very good kick. Very good kick.
Good kick, but I would have liked to see them chance it more.
Yeah. Talking about the lines, which we were just a second ago, for you, who are the Scottish players who go? Who are the certainties that on form should go, in your opinion? We've got to start with the first one. Hogg, 100% got to go, right?
Yes. Him, Mish, of course, Finn, of course, Duan van der Merwe, I think, has got to go as well. And Chris Harris, I think he's got to be going as at least the squad player. You see that that video of him, like just some of the work he does, and I think Squids Rugby touched on his defensive work rate as well, and and just how he played defensively, especially against France. I mean, that tackle on Bakatawa, absolutely, knocked him backwards, and for a lot of that game had him in his pocket. So I think he's in with a very good shout of going. So those would be my 5, and I'd take Rory Sutherland as well, but at the moment he's still recovering from his arm injury. I'm not sure if he's going to be fit in time, so he's a doubt. But if he's fit, I'd take. But that's my 6. I'd take him as well. And
what about Johnny Gray? Would you be looking at Johnny Gray, or is he a bit on the edge? Is he, kind of, but kind of not as well?
Outside chance, I'd say. Obviously, Alan Wynne, Maro Itoje, Ian Henderson deserves to go as well. James Ryan, I think, will go. Tab Byrne, I think, will go as the sort of second row and back row option there. Yeah. But I mean, I think Johnny Gray is just behind them in the pecking order. So, I mean, and in the Six Nations, I thought he started well, but against Ireland, then he got injured. Against Ireland, he didn't have his best game at all.
It's going to be a try for me to advantage here, just right, but next to the line, they just need to be patient.
And the other thing with Johnny Gray is, whilst he works hard enough, I'd like to see that sort of more menace in his game.
Yeah.
Like, because instead of just working hard, like he works hard, he does hit rucks with actual intensity. Like, when he's hitting the rucks, he's smashing the opponent backwards. Yeah. When he's making a tackle, he's absolutely smashing them backwards. And I think he's capable, but he doesn't do that as often as I think he should be doing, in my view. Yeah. So,
and against the Springboks, that's really, really important, isn't it? That he's going to be extremely physical. We know how they're going to look to play. And if we match them physically, we should beat them. If we match them physically, I think we are better backs and better options than they do. Like Andre Pollard at 10 is okay, but I don't think he's in the top 10 fly halves in the world by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. Well, again, well, I think he's a good controller, Pollard, as he showed in the World Cup final, and he keeps the scoreboard ticking over. And obviously they've got Colby as well, who's excellent. Delande, we all know about him. So I'd say they've got some pretty good backs, to be fair.
I do think they've got some good backs. I think Delande is massively underperformed. Well, not underperformed for Munster, but he's just been okay. Exeter have scored here. They've got a try that's certainly going to win them the match.
Thomas Francis
on his way to the Ospreys, of course, in the summer, with one of the worst haircuts I've seen in a long time. He'll have to cut that off before stepping onto the pitch down at the Liberty. But Exeter going even further ahead here, 27 points to 13. And from this area, 5 metres out, they're so ruthless and they're so good. And Thomas Francis crashes over for us. But yeah, I think Pollard at 10 is decent. And Delande, what he brings. He's Jamie Roberts. He's the South African Jamie Roberts. Yeah. You know what he's going to do. Cheslin Colby, one of the best wingers in the world, absolutely. But apart from that, I think our back line is much better than theirs. And I think if we match them physically, I think we beat them. I honestly think we beat them. Not comfortably, but I do think we beat them 3-0 if we match them physically.
I don't think it'll be a 3-0 either way. I think it'll be... I think either way it's going to go. It's going to be 2-1. So
we won't tell our predictions now. We'll do them closer to the time.
I think we already did them, didn't we, on my video? But
indeed.
Obviously, still some rugby to be played for now.
Yeah, true. Quite a bit of rugby to be played. So 29 points to 13. 9 minutes to go. The game is certainly done and dusted, and the win is secured for Exeter. Really good win for them. There a lot of other games going on today in the Gallagher Premiership, so we'll quickly have a look at what they are. So currently, Sale and Gloucester is 22 points apiece. After Clerk, Reed and Yard have scored for Sale, while May and Carreras have scored for Gloucester. Later on today, Harlequins play Worcester at home, while Newcastle host Bristol. So Bristol on top of the table, we're looking to win there. And then tomorrow, Bath host Leicester. In the Women's Six Nations, we have a game kicking off at 2:15 between Ireland and France. And then we have Scotland hosting Italy at 5 o'clock. So those are the games going on today. A couple of games going on out in France. Toulouse currently losing against Cast 6-0. So we'll keep an eye on them scores throughout the rest of the watch along. But Exeter have won here fairly comfortably, you have to say, at the end. But massive game next Friday. Bristol against Exeter Chiefs. That's a huge game. Top of the table, second in the league. That's going to be a massive game. So that should be a great game of rugby to watch. So we look forward to that. While Wasps, they play on the Sunday against Bath next at home. So they'll be looking to bounce back from defeat in this one. So 7 minutes to go-ish. We've not seen a yellow or red card today. Have we seen a rugby game? Have we watched an actual rugby match?
It's great.
Lovely offloading to Hogg there. Hogg inside. Good offloading from Exeter in the 22 here. Looking for their 5th try, would it be? 6th?
6th.
Yeah, 6th try.
They'd be further in front, of course, if it weren't for Simmons's erratic.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Simmons scored himself. Good step.
Simmons, lovely step. And that's the 6th try. Lovely step there. 34 points to 13. And this Wasps team now just look dead on their feet, you'd have to say. Let's have a watch back here. Noel gets the high ball. Lovely offload into Hogg. That's where it all starts. Oh, lovely step. Odohu absolutely sold.
Yeah.
And it's a really good finish from Simmons.
Aye. Interesting though, so yeah, that apparently Thomas Francis's first try in 91 Premier League Premiership matches.
Oh wow!
Is that like two tries? Is that like 2 tries he scored in his career? One against South Africa and one against...
I'm pretty sure he scored 2 for Wales. I've got a feeling he scored against England before. I might be wrong. I've got a feeling. Let me have a look. Let me find out.
I know he scored against South Africa. That's 2018, I think.
Yeah. Let me have a double check. Let me just change the score to add the conversion. So 36 points to 13. 5 minutes to go. So how many tries has Thomas Francis scored? Let's have a look. Where are we?
Maybe not.
No, only the 1 try Thomas Francis has. Only the 1 try. So, no, but great player. Love him. I don't know. He's a good signing for the Ospreys, but I don't know. I think he's an average player, if I'm being totally honest. I do think he's an average player. But he wants to come back to Wales, play for Wales, so it's obvious why. And the Ospreys were the region to offer him maybe the best terms, or maybe the region were the only region to offer him something. I don't know.
Well, Dylan, the thing is, Dylan Lewis seems to have disappeared now.
It seems to be Wyn Jones, Ken Owens, and who else is in the front row?
Francis, Brown, is Rob Evans still there?
Who did he start? He had a front row that he picked pretty much all the time. Wyn Jones, Ken Owens.
Francis.
Did he start Thomas Francis?
Yeah, that was the front row.
Right, Francis then. Oh, Exeter. Oh, he's dropped it. Oh, we're watching the replay. I thought it was live. I thought we were watching it there.
See you doing your Welsh Rugby Roundup show, and you can't even remember who your front row was for the Six Nations.
Honestly, the amount of watch-alongs that I do and the amount of shows that I do, the amount of names I have to get through is just ridiculous. And sometimes my mind just goes completely blank, and it's like, nah, that's it. Mine's gone.
Oh, yeah.
But no, lots of exciting plans with the Welsh Rugby Roundup show coming up, so can't wait to bring them. So scrum here to Wasps then. This will be their last real chance to create something. So they'll be looking to get down the field a little bit. Thank you to anyone who subscribed today. We just hit 1,540, which is awesome to hit. So thank you very much to anyone who has subscribed today. That's very, very kind. Wasp decide to get it out. Chance for Dohu. Dohu's a weird one because he obviously went to the England camp, didn't play a minute of rugby, and then people expect him to play some good stuff for Wasps straight away. It's just not going to happen. The guy's not match fit. He's not played for 2-3 months. So what is the point having him in the squad if you're not going to play him? Like, there's just no point having him in the squad.
Mm.
Oh, lovely offload from Umaga there.
Mm-hmm.
And Wasp now absolutely throwing it about, and they knock it on. And there's an injury for Wasps as well. I'm pretty sure we'll have a stoppage in play for this injury.
No.
That's not going to get there. Is the bounce going to favour him?
Yeah,
another try for Scotland, not for Scotland, for Exeter. Stuart Hogg crashing over for his second try of the game. Had a very, very good second half. And Exeter just, Wasps are shattered at this point. You can just see it.
No, there was I feel kind of sorry. I feel kind of sorry for Wasps there because there was an injury. There was 2 injuries there.
Yeah.
And I mean, good opportunities, good play from Hogg. Obviously, play on, but yeah,
good finish.
Just an open play there, just kind of like okay.
Yeah, it's basically 15 men against 17 then.
No, one of them was an Exeter player, pardon me, but the other one, the Wasps player looked a bit more serious.
Yeah.
So
good finish though from Hogg as Exeter go over the 40-point mark. So 41 points to 13. Simmons will look to add the conversion. So Hogg with his second try of the match.
Aye. At least he's come through unscathed. It looks fair enough. So
there's still a lot of games to be played in the Premiership. We're currently at round 16. There are, in fact, still we have got. Let me have a look. We've still got 20. There's 22 rounds to be played in this year's competition, so we still have 5 sets of fixtures left. Then we have the semi-finals, which you'd expect Exeter to be in that. For sure, and then you have the final on the 26th of June. So again, a lot of players, won't be available for that. They'll be on the Lions. You'd expect Hogg. Hogg is certainly going to go on the Lions. So the Lions squad is announced on the 6th of May. Their first game is against Japan. Is that end of June, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the 21st, 23rd of June.
Yeah,
around then.
If there were fans going to that, would you be looking to go to that game, or do you think it'd just be too difficult to get tickets?
Most likely not, to be honest, Brandon. Yeah, I do. I can't say probably not because I mean I'm not personally I'm not booking anything in the future just because of how unpredictable the times are right now. So
no, absolutely.
Well,
it's very unpredictable. But I saw today that the Welsh Rugby Union announced that we'd have a game against the All Blacks in October, and that they're hoping in November. So they're hoping to allow fans for that. And if it's like a set amount, then it's just gonna be absolutely manic trying to get tickets for that game. Simmons has added the 2 points, so we're in towards the final minutes of this one. 43 points to 13, 20-point gap. Exeter very, very good this second half. Ran away with it. Devoto named man of the match. Thoughts on that? Deservedly so. Maybe Hogg maybe should deserve the man of the match.
I don't know. Devoto's been pretty good. Like, he's run good lines. He's made some good offloads. What I've seen, worked hard around the pitch. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say probably. I'm just thinking of Hogg's error in the first half has probably cost him a bit in that department. So yeah, probably fair enough. All Devoto got it.
So Wasp trying to finish by getting some pride back. Final 30 seconds of this one. Odohu goes for it. He's been shouldered into touch, but I'm pretty sure that was fair enough. So this will be the last play here now. A good win for Exeter as they face massive game next Friday, obviously against Bristol, which will be a huge clash. Just as we begin to end this stream, make sure that you're subscribed and you've liked the stream and checked Kyle's channel out as well. And we'll be back later next week with some videos for the Rainbow Cup and lots of watch-alongs over the course of the weekend. We're going to do a Friday night one. We're going to do 3 on the Saturday. So looking forward to that. The clock is in the red. You'd expect Exeter just to kick this one straight off and finish the game off, which they do. And Exeter have won this one 43 points to 13. So a really good win for the home team. Quickly before we go then, Kyle, thoughts on that game? Exeter just too good and Wasps maybe not even fit enough for that second half?
Yeah, I thought Wasps were the better team in the first half, but they seemed to just, I don't know, they just seemed to run out of steam in the second half. They didn't seem to be up with the pace at all. Exeter, as we were saying at half-time, like they just found a way just to keep the ball in hand and keep it, sort of moving and play down in Wasps' half, which they did do. And they just took advantage of Wasps just looking absolutely drained in the second half and ran away with it, really. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, deserving to win that one. That will push Exeter closer towards Bristol. They are quite a few points behind Bristol this season, but cements them in second place. So, as we said, Gloucester are currently winning 27 points, 25 against Sale. That game is still ongoing. Last night we saw Northampton beat London Irish 44 points to 26. We've got Harlequins against Worcester later on and Newcastle Bristol. And then on Sunday we have Bath hosting Leicester. But that's where we're going to leave it today. Thanks, Kyle, for jumping on as always, mate. It's always great to have you on. And we'll be back next weekend for the Rainbow Cup. We'll do lots of watch-alongs and there'll be previews coming out on the Thursday and the Friday nights ahead of the game. So be sure to join me then. Enjoy the rugby over the weekend, folks, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Take care, guys.